Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining Elixinol Global's Q3 FY 2020 quarterly results investor briefing call. My name is Jane Lowe, and I'm the Managing Director of IR Department. It's our pleasure to be supporting Elixinol on investor and public relations. I'm joined today by Elixinol CEO Oliver Horn. Hi, Oliver.
Hello, good morning.
And CFO Ron Duffsey. Morning, Ron.
Good morning.
Following a huge amount of work in the first calendar half of the year, Elixinol has shown through today's results that it is on track with its turnaround. About a month ago, the company released guidance of 10 to 15% revenue improvement, and today's result communicated that that guidance had been beaten, coming in with 18% revenue growth on the prior quarter. Outside of the operational highlights, which have been substantial, the other aspect of great importance is the major cost reduction that the company's been able to report today. We've set aside about 30 minutes for the call. Oliver will present first, and then we'll move into Q&A. If you'd like to ask a question, you can do so using the Q&A button in the Zoom ribbon at the bottom of your screen at any point in time. So with that, I would now like to hand over to Oliver. Oliver, if you'd like to now start screen sharing and take it away.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Great, Jane. Thanks for the great intro and the great setup. I hope you can see the screen on all. So, yeah, we've put together a bit of a presentation for you to just update you all on the progress that we made and the great result that we delivered on the back of it in the last quarter. So, look, we are very, very pleased to be updating you today on the very good progress we've made as we move towards building a global consumer-led pharmaceutical business. And I need to try and change the slides here. There you go. Sorry. As we made the moves that we made to build a really truly global consumer-led and Elixinol branded nutraceutical business. We as Elixinol are an authority in all things hemp. In a young industry with many new and at times inexperienced entrants, we stand out for having more than 20 years of experience in hemp and pride ourselves on our product quality, efficacy, and the importance we place on bringing compliant products to consumers around the world that positively contribute to health and well-being. Now, since the beginning of the year, we've been pursuing a very aggressive repositioning strategy to restore shareholder value. This has been led by a new leadership capability at all levels of our business. Our board is led by our new chair, Helen Weisman, who is an experienced public company director and former KPMG audit partner. I myself joined in April from Swiss Wellness, where I led the ANZ and US business, bringing very deep nutraceutical and premium global brand building experience. And we also have a new US CEO in Tom Siciliano, who is a veteran in returning businesses to growth in the US. And these are just 3 examples of bringing in agents of change as we create a thriving global wellness business focused around consumer goods. As a result of these efforts, we're pleased to report, and as Jane already mentioned, a very, very robust September quarter. We've been delivering 18% quarter-on-quarter growth, exceeding the previous guidance that we've given to the market in September of 10 to 15%, importantly with all business units around the world returning to growth. On top of that, we reduced our cash outflow to 3.5 million in the quarter from the previous quarter of 6.2 million and 9 million in Q1. This has been a substantial effort for us to reduce our costs and streamline the business, whilst importantly delivering a revenue growth again. Now, on top of that, we've also opened up significant new avenues of growth based on completely repositioning our brand, which we launched in March earlier this year, and now have gained significant new distribution, particularly in Europe, that has just only come online in August and September. I'd now like to take more time to provide a bit more insights into our strategy and the positive steps we've taken to return to a sustainable growth profile. It is very important to point out that the CBD industry worldwide remains a young and high growth industry with more and more consumers adopting CBD into their well-being regime. Research is still emerging and constantly highlighting new applications to support people's well-being. The US market is expected to grow at plus 26% CAGR and Europe at plus 46%. Now, regulations vary greatly globally, but we are well positioned to have a successful play both in the US and in Europe, whilst we're also exploring opportunities in Australia and Asia right now. We are focusing on 3 fundamentals in our efforts to create a flourishing global wellness business. Firstly is reducing our cost base and improving our revenue. Secondly, driving our margin accretion and improving profitability. And thirdly, and selectively building new competencies that set our businesses up for success. We have reduced operating cash flow by 43%, helped materially through a reduction in staff of nearly 50%. Back in December last year, we had around 129 employees, which we now downsized to 63, which has been a pretty hard task, but nevertheless, we feel that we now got the employees and the capability in the business to continue our growth trajectory. We've reduced operating cash flow by those 43%, and at the same time, we're now pleased to achieve an 18% growth in the quarter. We're focusing in particular on improving margins by shifting our channel mix to higher margin channels such as e-commerce and other branded consumer goods channels, as well as reducing our supply chain costs by increasingly moving to a capital light model while it makes sense for us. To drive positive change, we've been making smart choices in investing in team capabilities in the areas of e-commerce, finance, marketing, and supply chain. And I'd like to point out that particularly in the e-commerce channel, we've now recruited 5 experts, global experts, both based in the US and in Europe, to drive that very important strategic channel for us forward. I do believe that through these initiatives, we laid the sound foundations for future growth. In a COVID environment, the message of health and well-being is ever more relevant. And despite the distress that COVID causes, we also see it as an opportunity to introduce more consumers to CBD. Our supply chain has remained uninterrupted throughout, and we've shifted sales to the most resilient channels whilst keeping an iron grip on cost. We delivered robust growth despite the COVID challenges that we see everywhere around the world. We launched a completely new Elixinol brand only 6 months ago, taking it out of the CBD space and into a much bigger and better understood global nutraceuticals category by adding actives with proven health benefits. These health benefits are easier to understand for consumers, and our product naming conventions such as Good Night or Stress Less are reflecting this new take on CBD. Because of our new product range, we've seen continued success in winning new distribution. Well Pharmacy is just the most recent highlight, where we launched distribution of 8 of our products in over 500 stores, with Well Pharmacy being the 3rd biggest pharmacy chain in the UK. Including in those 8 products are 3 completely new developed products exclusively for Well Pharmacy, which was material in securing this distribution. We also enjoy a supply agreement with Alliance Healthcare, which is the UK's largest wholesale distributor and supplier to pharmacy chains, accessing thousands and hundreds of thousands of pharmacy and doctors around the country. And we are also enjoying very flourishing home TV shopping channels business, where we service 2 home TV shopping channels, which are streaming and broadcasting both into UK and in Germany. We are, I'm sorry, I'm just lost there. Boots Island. We also just launched our new skincare range into Boots Island. We're currently running an extensive and engaging integrated marketing campaign, heavily focused towards social media and key opinion leaders. This new range is setting a new benchmark in the CBD industry and is the first full comprehensive range of CBD products in Boots, and hence receives great attention and support. And I'm very pleased to report that not only are we on shelf, but we're also getting floor stand units and displays and second sight positions throughout the all crucial Christmas period. Coming to Hemp Foods Australia, one of the leading and most established hemp food brands in Australia, we're pleased to report continued success in growing sales and reducing our cost base while also improving margins. Our hemp foods product range has certainly benefited from consumers making better and healthier food choices whilst eating more at home, and we've seen good growth in particular during the early COVID months. We're also using the strong Hemp Foods Australia leadership team capability to explore all profitable options in bringing Elixinol CBD products to market here in Australia. We're now a truly global business with a growing global brand represented in the Americas, Europe, Asia, and ANZ, allowing us to access very varied geographic opportunities. In summary, when investing into our global Elixinol business, You're investing in a global trusted brand with a fresh new product portfolio that is positioned in a global high growth category, which is delivering new momentum on a materially reduced cost base and a very strong balance sheet. We certainly feel that we are now in a very favorable position to harness this momentum as we go into the year's most important key trading period. I thank you very much for your continued support, and I now welcome your questions.
Thank you, Oliver. I might just ask you to stop your screen share so we can see you on screen. Thank you. We do actually have a few questions that have started to come through the Q&A. Just a reminder, if you would like to ask a question, use the Q&A function in the Zoom ribbon at the bottom of your screen. So we'll start here with one about costs, which I expect, Ron, might be for you. So your costs have come down quite substantially. Should we expect that to be a short-term improvement, or is it a longer-term shift?
Thanks, Jane. Well, we've worked extremely hard to reduce our expenses, both corporate and operational costs. Not only do we have a much leaner, more focused team, we've reviewed our service agreements and terminated low-value arrangements, such as low ROI marketing activities. We've also achieved improved pricing through negotiation or competitive tenders. Significant long-term cost savings have been achieved across many areas of our business, including audit fees, insurances, and share registry costs. Subject to the continued delivery of our plans, we're comfortable we now have the right team in place to drive our growth strategy.
Excellent. Okay, well, just talking about growth, so nice segue into this next one. What is driving growth in the US?
Look, we're very pleased that we actually can report growth in the US, and it's been, as most of you know, CBD has been a very challenged category, although it's as a long-term growth category. But we really reset our business in the US with a new management team starting in March and brought new disciplines in. And one of the disciplines was really a renewed focus on the natural and wellness channel, which is still operating freely throughout COVID, and where CBD regulations is not as stringent as in the big national. So we're seeing good growth in that channel materializing now, particularly as we build outbound calling capability throughout the COVID period. We actually created an outbound calling center, and we can now service customers through telemarketing efforts in this channel, which is really driving the early good results. And then importantly, our increased investment that we're making to our e-commerce platform. And I just alluded earlier that we've hired a new team. We have now in the US a team of 4 or 5 people, which are really, have only joined over the last couple of months, where we have copywriters, digital designers, new digital marketing capability, web hosting and services team, all set up new, and that's driving for us, a new momentum as well. So all in all, I'm really, really pleased that we're seeing that growth returning. And I like to say, there's still more opportunity for us to come as we go now into this key trading period with Black Friday and so forth to come.
Excellent. Okay. Question here about the new skincare range. So how is that performing?
Yes, look, the skincare range went into Boots as of the 12th or 14th of September. So we are literally just in fresh, and we haven't got robust replenishing orders yet that we can talk to. So we're still waiting for those numbers to roll up. So I can't really comment on that. But if there's something to comment on the early success, Boots has been so excited with this new range in Ireland that they've given us access to the biggest 70-odd stores out of the 80s-odd so network. But then excitingly, throughout this November-December period, we got second sight displays because I feel we are very uniquely positioned, having a comprehensive range of CBD products as opposed to competitors which have 1 or 2 CBD products. So we're truly a first mover with a comprehensive full range, and we're going to be second sighted on floor stand displays as well as on shelf. And that's a bit of testament to Boots' confidence in the launch that we're having. On top of that, what we've seen, we've had a big launch campaign, which is still ongoing, a social media launch campaign, and the uptake and feedback from our social media influencers, KOLs, that use the product, tested the product, and are now raving about it and telling the world really about it, whoever wants to listen on social media, how good those products are is really creating new momentum in itself. And it's just good to know that the product's performing well in consumers' hand. And we hope to see that translate into replenishment sales that we are so feverishly waiting for now from Boots.
That's excellent. And actually, I know you had mentioned to me previously that I think it was with Wells Pharmacy, that you'd started off with an initial set of products, and that you'd specifically created an addition to that range. Might just be worth talking about that quickly.
Yeah, that's right. There's a great picture in the presentation that you should have a closer look at. But we had 5 capsules. What we are renowned for now in the UK is our blended capsules, where we blend active ingredients together with CBD and really create a very efficacious product that has health substantiation claims around it. Now, Wells Pharmacy was so excited, but they wanted different formats as well. And we very quickly developed with them 3 new products: water-soluble tinctures, which are easy to dissolve in water, as it says, or in any other drink. And they have listed them exclusively. So we now have 8 products displayed, which is the most extensive range in Wells Pharmacy, and it's in prime position. We got second sites. They call it parasite units, protruding from shelves. So it's on shelf and protruding from shelves as a real showstopper. In a very positive sense when you walk in. And I think that talks to our ability to innovate very quickly and agile when it comes to customer demands.
Great. I've got a question here about online sales. I cannot find Elixinol products online at Wells Pharmacy website or at Boots Island's website. Does that mean that they don't sell the products online?
It's a very good question. It takes a while for us to get online, because what happens, you need to get into their DCs first, which we get through the bricks and mortar distribution, which is very fresh. We only went in last month, and now we need to get into their online offering as well. So we're working on that. I'm not sure exactly. I can't commit to a timeline when that's happening, but it's for us super important, particular given that the UK and Ireland are going into lockdown throughout this next big phase of COVID. So we are working feverishly on our own online business as well as our customers' online business. Boots online is a big part of it, and we are certainly working towards that.
Thank you. This is about CBD in stock. So inventory, probably a question for you, Ron. How much stock do you currently have of CBD in dollar value, and does it have a limited shelf life?
Yeah, thanks. The direct answer is more than we think we need. At the end of December and June, we took a prudent view of how much CBD we could actually sell before it exceeded shelf life. And we wrote down the expected value to just under 9 million. But the reality is we have more than double that on hand. So should our growth exceed our expectations, we have CBD in stock ready to fulfill that demand, which puts us in a really strong position to convert that inventory to cash. CBD life generally is a 2-year shelf life.
Thanks, Ron. Okay, just a couple of extra questions on the pharmacy discussion. So which other retailers are you in discussion with or looking to get listed with is the first question. And then I have another one for you to follow on. Okay,
so look, we're knocking on doors. We are in a very unique position in the UK where we're really building a beachhead, where we are having a good online presence. We're having TV shopping channel presence. We're now in Wells Pharmacy, and it's being noted. And we are one of the few global full spectrum brands out there, that is established in a sea of people who are trying it on with questionable products. So the big retailers are now turning towards us because they're taking notice of what we do and what we're doing. And we're having a number of active conversations. I'm not going to allude to which ones, because until the product is on shelf, everything can happen. But we feel that success breeds success, and we have definitely seen now the inbound requests coming in for conversations. And we're talking not only pharmacy. I think they'll leave it as that. There's other channels there which are really now interested in CBD, particularly as the UK has regulated in favor to CBD. So we're seeing a more stable regulatory framework. I should comment that we are submitting a novel food application, to keep on trading throughout the future. We are well positioned to do that. We got our dossiers prepared and submitted. So, we have longevity. We are a global trusted brand with an extensive range that's widely distributed, and our customers want to talk to us.
Thank you. And a related question. So page 10 of the investor presentation talks about UK pharmacy launch. When is this expected? What about Germany? Are EXL products available there now?
Yeah, so the UK Well Pharmacy happened. We're literally rolling out to all those 500 stores and servicing those 500 stores. And we're talking to more pharmacy chains, of course. Germany is, I must say, is a watch and brief. We have a distribution agreement in Germany with a partner called Canavec, who gives us great access to the German market. But we are treading with caution, admittedly, there, because the EU has paused their process on the novel food applications, and there's a preliminary consideration about how to qualify CBD, in which context to qualify it, and how to regulate it. And while this regulatory uncertainty persists, we are reluctant to make any bigger investments into the German market in particular, until that's clarified. At the moment, our focus is very clearly on making the UK a success and the US, and then we are ready with our route to market in Germany when the regulatory environment is clarified.
Thank you. A couple of extra questions about costs. So will you continue to reduce costs, and if so, where from?
Mm-hmm. Ron, do you want to comment on that?
We'll continually look for cost reduction opportunities, but to a large extent, we've adjusted the size of our team to an optimized level that we feel is the right team and the right size team to pursue our objectives. We'll continually refine our overhead costs as good businesses do. So, but we'll move forward with the cost base essentially that we have now moving forward.
Okay, thank you. And a related question again. So you've been talking about a margin accretive strategy. So how are your margins tracking?
So first of all, I'll just say our first half margins were negatively impacted by a bunch of things, including transition to a capital light model, so that our focus on higher margin Elixinol branded products is delivering improved margins. Our e-commerce margins in particular are currently generating high 60s, low 70s, depending on promotional activity. Our European margins tend to be a little lower because of the larger customers that we're doing business with. So they're typically mid 40s. Hemp Foods Australia, will say, have done a fantastic job improving their margins over the last 12 months. They're tracking around in the mid 20s. So moving forward, and currently we expect blended margins to be above 50%, and then we expect continued improvement as we drive towards a higher margin Elixinol branded products, particularly in e-commerce.
Yeah, that's right. And it's maybe just to add to that, it's like, our channel strategy will facilitate that to a large extent. And that's certainly something, that we are driving. It's not only the products that we sell, it's also the channels that we focus on. And as Ron was saying, e-commerce, we really want to see e-commerce being half of our business. That's sort of where our vision is. And as you can see from the bar chart, it's not quite there yet. So, any increment in percentage on total business on e-commerce is a margin accretion for us, and it's very important.
Thank you. We spoke briefly about Europe earlier. Question here about what's your perspective on that European opportunity? Where do you see that moving into the future?
Yeah, look, I think the European consumer opportunity is enormous. I actually believe that the total European consumer opportunity should be bigger than the US. Simply by the sheer number of people that are in Europe, and with the adoption rate that they're currently having. So in the very long term, I'm very excited about Europe. In the very near term, I'm very excited about UK, because the regulatory environment is stable, and we're going to be having a very, very exciting future ahead of it. And then for the rest of Europe, the EU is still undecided on how to navigate. Should it be a pharmaceutical? Should it be a nutraceutical? Is it a dietary supplement? Is not how is CBD regulated? And so it's a really juxtaposition where the consumer opportunity is enormous and they're wanting it and they're buying it disregarding of regulation. And then there's brands like ours where we pride ourselves to operate in a very compliant manner, and we have to fall in line. And so this is sort of in the short term holding us back a bit. But I believe that Europe should be equal to the US business in the future in terms of revenue at some stage.
We've maybe got time for one or two more questions. Put this one to you, which I'm sure you've contemplated, which is, what do you see as being a likely break-even point for the company?
Ron, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, with our current cost base, we're our fixed cost base, and I include sales and marketing activities, which aren't truly fixed; they're variable. We have just that's a lever that we have to adjust. We probably need to target sort of around the 40 million mark to break even. Mm-hmm. But having said that, we do have some additional levers to adjust that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so perhaps time for just one more. And the question here, related question again, do you see the kind of revenue level that you've reported today being sustainable into the future?
Well, I mean, we don't give guidance, so we're not in a position to give revenue guidance. But I will say there's, as we've talked about, we're very excited about a number of the growth catalysts that we've been developing over some time. So we're excited. We're in uncertain times, which creates headwinds, of course. But we're very pleased to have highly relevant product ranges that are delivering meaningful revenues for us. So we have a strong foundation. We have the right team to grow, and that's certainly our objective.
And maybe just to add to that, it's like we've worked relentlessly over the last 6 months to deliver a September result which exceeded our own guidance. And on all levels, not only in revenue but also in terms of cost management and margin delivery. So we're incredibly proud of that, and this is just what we feel the beginning of a reset of the company. And if you think about what we've been able to achieve under this huge flux where the environment is changed quite dramatically, we had COVID, we're working from home, severe retail restrictions, a complete overhaul of the business with new management capability, and that comes with distraction. We've taken out 50% of our workforce. We've taken out almost half of the cost of the business. So it's been a really roller coaster and a very turbulent reset for us, and yet we're delivering that 18% growth, which exceeded our own guidance. I think that's just a testament to what we can achieve when we actually have a stable team in place that has 6 months under their belt, knows what they're doing, and got a good relationship with customers. The channels are working, and I think sort of that's what we are really looking forward to, this period of this massive turnaround, readjustment, and embedding all this change, and those catalysts of change now, getting their stripes and having another quarter of a sustained performance, and that's really what is so exciting. We're coming out of this change moment in time, to the now more of a stable business, and the time will tell, but we are very excited.
That's a real high note to end on. Thank you both for your time today, and thanks very much for everybody who managed to make it along. If you did have a question that we didn't get to deal with today, then please feel free to either reach out to me or reach out to the company, and we'll respond to you. Thank you
very much. Thank you, Jane. Thank you everyone for dialing in.